people. They were, of course, the first responders when the tragedy occurred in the morning, before the fire tenders and before, of course, the police and others came to douse the flames and also officially commence the rescue and relief operations. We've spoken to other eyewitnesses like that through the day, and of course, we will continue to get you those stories through the evening as well. Barkat Rian, as of course a citizen of Delhi, what would you, like to say to the administration, the governing, the governing people of Delhi, because the fact is that we've seen too many of these tragedies ever since Upahar, which of course happened in the 90s and was a horrific tragedy of immense proportions. After that, there have been so many other such fire incidents, and every time it happens, one hopes it won't happen again. But then you have a Malviya Nagar like we've seen today. What do you make of this incident? What accountability would you, as a citizen of Delhi now, demand?
Uday, it's a very tragic incident, and my heart goes for the people who died over there, or even if they are injured. It's not an accident. It's a murder, first of all. This fire happened because of greed and bad planning, not by chance. I've heard people saying, "Lagti rehti hai aag," but it is not like that. Too many rooms. Just like one of the panelists said that there were 20 rooms, but according to my information, there were more than 20 rooms. And the basement was the trap. There was a running kitchen over there in the basement, and that was the choking point. The roads were blocked. Everything which I can see in this incident was a deliberate thing. Fire trucks could not reach the building on time because the streets were so narrow. So whenever a building doesn't get a fire clearance, how can you make a hotel over there, and such a big one? And the biggest part is the shame for the country with 17 to 18 foreigners among the dead. This tragedy shows a broken system to the whole world. And are we ready to show this? We have shown this before also, and today also we will not learn anything, because we will only do debates, we will only speak in rooms, but not arrest the corrupt officials. We never do that. Don't just allow low-level staff, arrest the officer. All the officers involved in giving all these clearances on who take bribes also on daily basis. I know of a similar case where I had to run from pillar to post to get that close 5 years back, where I had to meet the CP for this. Delhi CP, I had to reach out to the CP because the police was not listening. They were having a gala time, they were taking bribe, and this hotel was working in a residential colony without any clearance of anything, no fire, nothing. They didn't have any clearances, and they were bringing here. We can imagine 20 rooms. They are saying there are 20 to 25 rooms, but they also have the similar structure. And it took me 1 hour, because first of all, I tried to plead them, but they didn't listen. They were saying that no, nothing is happening, everything is fine. But whenever I used to go to meet the police, they also said that everything is fine. Why are you so worried? I said the whole colony, everybody in this residential area is worried about what is happening. Even there were illegal
that is what is worrying. That is what is worrying, Dr. Tripathi, that this is one incident that has occurred today. There are so many more potential death traps in the national capital. Will action be taken there now? Will finally a lesson be learned? Should this be a final wake-up call? What has occurred today, Dr. Tripathi?
Yeah, true. I mean, if I see New Friends Colony, Bharat Nagar, I mean, you see any area around every in some way we see that all these areas are cheaper because and density is much more, so many people are could be accommodated of I mean in quite economical way, but all around I think more than 800 these urban villages they like Hajrani or Bharat Nagar or any other place, they are having these kind of buildings. Inside, n number of activities are going on. Not only, residential, maybe in the 300 square meter plot, there might be 100 rooms. All those things are, and you go to this Batla house, that side, many colonies that side, generally road width is 10 feet or so, and most of the buildings are 5-story buildings, 6-story buildings. So everywhere, and with the single staircase, and if like somebody has done the fire fighting system, even that maybe for some NOC or something they have shown it, but they are not maintaining it at all. And without you see in any kind of planned building, if firefighting is done, all NOC is there still every year, unless and until you do entire maintenance part of it, it won't be functional. Whenever you use it, you will find that it is not functional at all. So, and then obviously for these
Yes.
commercial things, must is that you
Yes.
must have 2 staircases and 2
Okay.
exits, so that
Absolutely. These are things that should
you
be the
have.
basics. These are things that should be the basics. Nirmal Kaur, what action now? What action now must be taken against the owner of the building, the owner of this BNB? What action should now be taken under what penal provisions? And should this be the Delhi Police's probe? Should it be headed by the CBI? Should it be the NIA? Who would be the best competent authority to probe this, Nirmal Kaur, according to you? And what provisions must immediately be slapped against those responsible?
I would say, of course, case are registered under the Bharna. Case registered was the case system registered, but more than that, the preventive action, because I think within very ways, but there are so many steps that to happen. Court is very important. Case to be registered. Local police good of IC, LA or CI. If it's really for any organization good enough, they'll have to consider a case, investigate the guilty, and it is like murder. Right? It is not, it's a calamity. You cannot say death called negligence to a section. That death called negligence. I'm sure more strict provisions are there should be availed of. And more important than that is the should be not entirety of the buildings. There will be, like no building fire audited. There's no the streets are so low. As per the rule, you build so many floors. And build so many floors easily. You know how the MG, the GA, which is and fire levels, if there's a rest, there has to be what their reasons for the restaurant and how many fire cylinders they have, gas what you get, and you have to have escape route, which doesn't have to be present in this building. I think it just money is being machine with God and been spinning out of it. Little kind of caring that lives.
Connection trouble
How
there.
much
Nirmal Kaur's connection is breaking up a bit. Let's try and correct that, please. Dr. Tripathi, quickly coming back to you. Yes, you were making a larger point there, of course, about the SOPs which now be followed. Should an audit also commence of all such properties in the national capital? Immediately, a time-bound audit must commence to ensure that, of course, if they want to continue being legal, SOPs are being followed, fire and safety norms are being followed. Immediate action should be taken if illegal rooms are found. Will this audit commence? Who should be tasked with it? Should it be the MCD? Should it be others? What must be the immediate way forward, Dr. Tripathi? Because I believe the LG is chairing a meeting this evening. The MCD has also ordered a probe. Let's hope now action follows and it's not just mere token lip service on the day this tragedy has happened.
No, what I want to say, I was telling the situation, this situation is worse in urban villages. But even in the planned areas, if you visit any big building or whatever building, I mean, normally temperament is that maintenance is really poor. As well as fire is concerned. I mean, in the planned areas where all the bylaws are followed, maybe n number of staircases are there. I mean, so all those things might be there, and maybe firefighting system is also installed, but the overall protocol that is required for the maintenance, that is seldom followed. And whenever need is there, then we find that those things are not working. I mean, fire detection is not working, fire sprinkler system, if it is there, it is not working, or house reels are there, they are not working. So, I mean, it should be mandatory that within a specific period of time there should be checking, and all kind of drill, etc. Whatever fire drills are required, they must be done, so that in any kind of eventuality, we are able to save people, and we are able to save the property. We are able to save the building.
Absolutely.
Otherwise,
yes, absolutely. Let's in fact now take a more detailed look at the lapses behind this incident. Now, as investigators piece together what led to the deadly fire at this hotel in Delhi's Malviya Nagar, early findings are pointing not just to the blaze itself, but to a series of probable safety violations that may have significantly worsened the situation for those trapped inside. Firstly, as per our sources, the establishment had permission to operate only 6 rooms. However, authorities have found that as many as 25 rooms were allegedly being run from the premises. Such a drastic increase in occupancy raises serious questions about whether the building's safety infrastructure was ever designed to handle that number of guests. Sources have also flagged another critical concern reportedly raised by locals, that there was reportedly only one entry and exit point in the building. In any emergency, particularly a fire, multiple exits are considered essential to allow occupants to evacuate quickly. When a single access point becomes blocked by flames or smoke, those inside find themselves with very few options. The absence of a dedicated escape route is emerging as another major factor. Sources say there was no alternative evacuation path available in the event of a fire. Fire safety norms typically require clear and accessible escape mechanisms, precisely because fires can spread rapidly and unpredictably. Without such provisions, evacuation becomes far more difficult. Adding to the danger was the issue of ventilation. Reports say poor ventilation inside the structure allowed smoke to accumulate quickly. Smoke inhalation and suffocation proved more deadly than the flames themselves. Perhaps most striking is the description of the building's design. Officials say the structure was effectively sealed from all sides, functioning like a shaft. The front of the building was reportedly covered by a facade, further restricting natural ventilation and the dissipation of smoke. Taken together, these findings suggest that the tragedy may not have been caused solely by the fire, but by a combination of alleged structural shortcomings, overcrowding, inadequate evacuation planning, and poor compliance with basic safety norms. The investigation is now focused on determining who was responsible for these lapses and whether negligence played a role in the loss of lives. As Delhi once again confronts questions over fire safety enforcement, the Malviya Nagar tragedy has intensified scrutiny of hotels, guest houses and commercial establishments operating in densely populated urban areas. The central question now is whether warning signs were missed, whether stricter compliance could have prevented the disaster from becoming so deadly. Nirmal Kaur, clearly it seems that there were many structural flaws here. Clearly it seems that many of these things, if checked properly on time, could have prevented this tragedy from occurring. Ms. Kaur, can you hear me? All right, I think we've lost that connection with her. But Dr. Harish Tripathi, if I quickly rope you back in here. Clearly, of course, it wasn't just suffocation. It wasn't just a short circuit. It was a combination of things that made this fire into an inferno and that have led to the death toll rising so high.
Yeah. This is really unfortunate.
Absolutely. Dr. Tripathi, what all has gone wrong prima facie in this building, the way it was constructed, the cables outside, the lack of an exit and emergency route, the fact that there were obviously kitchens in basements and other places where the fire could have spread and there was no exit route. What all has gone wrong according to your understanding today, which has led to the death toll rising so high, unfortunately?
Like this I have heard that this building was constructed on some 500, 600 square yard plot. So that much size is good enough for providing two staircases, maybe in the front or wherever. So the first thing that as an architect we see that at least one fire escape is there, so that in case of fire at one staircase you are able to go out. And in the fire staircase, what we do, uh, from outside you cannot enter inside, but from you must have noticed in any commercial building or anywhere you go, from one side, I mean from inside you can just run, and from outside you cannot open it. So that is the good part of fire doors. So once we have a fire door, then obviously people from inside they can easily run. And here, because it was lock was something, I mean numeric lock, that those kind of lock was there. So once it was closed, it was closed. Nobody can open it from inside or outside unless and until you are knowing. Then second thing is, if this kind of occupancy was there, or this kind of height was there, so they must have installed fire sprinklers. I mean entire fire safety system, that is including fire system, fire alarm system, as well as fire extinguishing system. And in the kitchen, we go for different kind of fire extinguishing, because or electrical areas, or in the kitchen we go for different kind of system, because there you cannot use water. You will have to use different things. So if all these things would have been there when the fire started in the basement kitchen, immediately they could, you could capture the fire, and it would not have gone to the other floors.
Okay.
Second part is because of all these glazings. What happens? We are aping, or we have some kind of fetish for glass in India. And most of the people find that if you have a glass in a building, then that looks very modern, or
Yes.
very nice building.
Yes.
So they are putting in five-star hotels. Those hotels, you have all the system. Then obviously your glasses are locked.
No, you're right.
And you cannot.
You're
open
right,
it.
because
But,
one of the eyewitnesses we spoke to also has mentioned this, that the glass was very difficult to break, both from inside for the guests and also for the people who were the first responders, before the Good Samaritans, before the police and fire tenders, etc., were pushed into service. And also there were grills, I think, which also made it a bit difficult for the people